You know, they say that history always has a way of repeating itself. But in the case of dating and relationships, it seems more like a broken record. As soon as we think we've reached rock bottom, things somehow get worse. Just when we thought the cringy one-night stand was dead, thanks to the rise of apps like Tinder, we gave birth to a new monster, Delulu. The word delusional made a comeback last year, racking up over 1 billion views on TikTok. No, not for schizophrenia or psychosis, but as a descriptor for those who have an overinflated sense of self-worth. According to Urban Dictionary, Delulu is defined as thinking you are better than everyone else. And when it comes to dating, it means going into a situation believing that you deserve the best and expecting others to treat you accordingly. But here's the twist. Unlike the toxic positivity of the past, which often manifested as waiting for the right time or having bad relationship habits disguised as good ones, today's version is unapologetically self-obsessed. It's the love-bombed validation junkie taken to the extreme. The goal isn't to find love, it's to be loved. Not by just anyone, though. Oh no, it has to be someone worthy of you, a person who meets your impossibly high standards. Someone like Chris Evans, Zendaya, and Timothée Chalamet rolled into one. If that sounds delusional, that's because it is. But instead of recognizing it as such, Gen Z has embraced it. And let's be real, who can blame them? In a world where everyone is trying to convince you that you're amazing just the way you are, it's nice to have something to strive for. But the problem arises when you start believing the hype, when you think you're better than everyone else. You set yourself up for disappointment because let's face it, no one is perfect. And the sooner you realize that, the better. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing inherently wrong with wanting the best. In fact, it's admirable. But when you let your desires cloud your judgment, you become vulnerable to manipulation. And that's what happened to 23-year-old Chloe, who found herself in a toxic relationship with a guy named Sam. Chloe met Sam at a party and immediately felt a connection. He was charming and handsome and everything she had ever wanted in a boyfriend. They started dating and things were going well until they weren't. Sam was possessive and controlling and would often get jealous over Chloe's friends. But Chloe was too infatuated with him to notice. She was head over heels in love and convinced that he was the one. After all, he was everything she had ever dreamed of and more. As their relationship progressed, Chloe began to feel suffocated. Sam wanted her to dress a certain way and act a certain way, and even dictated who she could and could not talk to. But Chloe didn't care. She was too busy living out her fantasy version of a relationship. She ignored the red flags and convinced herself that everything would eventually work out. And then one day it didn't. One day Chloe realized that Sam would never change. He was selfish and insecure and would never prioritize her happiness. But by that point, it was too late. Chloe had become dependent on him and didn't know how to live without him. She was trapped in a nightmare and couldn't wake up. And that's the thing about delusion. It's not always easy to spot. Sometimes it's hidden beneath a layer of charm and charisma. That's why it's important to be aware of the signs and to be willing to face reality, no matter how painful it may be. So here's to hoping that Chloe's story serves as a warning to the rest of us. A reminder that even in the era of ghosting and benching, there's still something to be said for keeping our heads screwed on straight. Because as much as we'd like to believe in happily ever afters, the only way to avoid getting lost in delusion is to stay grounded in reality. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends and family. Until next time, take care.